sports are great, but without your health, you get nothing. Like, I'm on the verge of dying, so, like, what's more important, really? Sports or being dead? Like, dead.
And now I turn the floor over to you. What is there to gain from posting a video while supposedly under a fever?
First of all, I don't wish anyone death.
No,
I don't wish anyone death.
I don't either.
But I might make an exception for Dave Portnoy's. Dave Portnoy. I could give two if he was home throwing up, vomiting. I could give two. The first nominee for Moron of the Year, it was Dave Portnoy.
Wait a minute. False start on the Snowman. 5-yard penalty. I was a little early. Let's try this again. Ready, set, hike!
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning, Kevin Durant. You should have never left California.
This bronze sexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Move it forward. Now it's Bennett back in. Bennett up the near side. Looks across Verhage. High slot shot. He scores! Carter Verhage! The overtime winner here in Game 3. The Panthers take it 3-2 the final.
Hanging around. Carter Verhage flops a nut straight. Pay that man his money.
Oh, what a game last night in Florida. Good morning. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic, freaky football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us on this Friday. I switched chairs again in my office. Man, what a game last night in Florida. Carter Verhaeghe, you know what? Let me do it again. Let me do that again because I love hockey. All right? Period. I love hockey. All right, here's the game winner last night, courtesy of Carter Verhaeghe and Steve Goldstein with the radio call for doggone it. I hit the wrong button. And let me find it. There it is. All right, I found it. Here it is again. Steve Goldstein calling last night's game winner by Carter Verhaeghe.
Take that away, tried to nudge it out front of the net, but the Golden Knights move it forward. Now it's Bennett back in. Bennett up the near side, looks across Verhaeghe, high slot shot. He scores! Carter Verhaeghe, the overtime winner here in Game 3. The Panthers take it 3-2 the final.
Hanging around. Carter Verhaeghe flops a nut straight. Pay that man his money.
Steve Goldstein on the call. Carter Verhaeghe with the game winner as the Panthers make it a series in the Stanley Cup Final. They now trail 2-1. And we got a lot of members of the usual crew. Brian McCarthy, and I want to highlight this one. Good morning, Snow crew. Wait, a black man started the show with hockey? You're damn straight I am, because that was a great game last night. And y'all know I enjoy great games. And Steve Goldstein and the crew will help us kick off the whip around presented by Fanatic. And as you heard in the opening, it was Carter Verhaeghe who scored the game winner last night as the Florida Panthers in overtime beat the Vegas Golden Knights. That final 3-2, and they sliced the lead of the Golden Knights in half. It is now 2-1, and Game 4 set for Saturday night in Florida. What a game that was. I will break it down later. In a move that has absolutely no surprise, Bryce Young, yes, that Bryce Young, has been elevated to be QB1 for the Carolina Panthers. Again, who's surprised? You drafted Bryce Young, number 1 overall. Why wouldn't you make him your number 1 quarterback? Now, I just hope that he doesn't get pounded all year long behind that porous offensive line. Well. Neil Everett is leaving SportsCenter, and another familiar face is leaving ESPN as another wave of cutbacks is happening. He told Front Office Sports it's, quote, last call, unquote, for him, ending a 23-year run since 2009. Neil Everett and Stan Verrett have co-hosted the late edition of SportsCenter from Los Angeles. Everett said, quote, ESPN changed my life, but now it's time for me to change my life. Time to write a new chapter. The 61-year-old Everett endeared himself to viewers with humorous commentary that often included pop culture references. His home run call, Bartender Jack, was a favorite. Front Office Sports cited one source saying that Everett had been given a contract with a pay cut similar to the one Kenny Mayne rejected in 2021. Another source told the outlet his contract signed in 2021. His contract signed in 2021. I misread that. I apologize. Was simply not renewed. And the dam has burst in Bristol. Frank Clark, who starred for the Kansas City Chiefs, is now going to star for the Denver Broncos? What? They have, according to multiple sources, the 3-time Pro Bowler who won 2 championships in his 4 years with the Chiefs will now face his former team twice a year with the AFC West rivals. The source is Jordan Schultz was among those to report that Clark signed with Sean Payton's team, and Adam Schefter of ESPN said the 29-year-old agreed to a one-year deal worth up to $7.5 million. I'm going to close the whip around and expound on that. But before I do, there's a very important person that I need to introduce. He is... Get out of here. Now I can introduce him properly. He is the insider for the world champion Houston Astros as well as the Houston Texans. He is my partner. He's the guy that pushed the off the rails button because we usually are. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cole Johnson.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, the chat. Good morning to you, sir.
How are you, man?
Man, I'm good. I just met with a few brothers, and yeah, it was a great meeting. So
good.
I'm feeling really good right now.
I think I scared a lot of people away when I began the show with the game-winning call from Steve Goldstein of the Florida Panthers, and that Panthers win last night.
They drew some blood finally in the Stanley Cup final,
and they looked alive. They looked like they wanted. You said it best a couple of days ago after Vegas blew them out 7-2 in Game 2.
Mm-hmm.
Florida now looks like they're ready to compete and make this a series. How big was that win last night?
Huge. I mean, any arena where they play a 7-game series, I don't care if the first 2 was won by the home team or the road team. Game 3, you want to stop that momentum. If you're the team that's down 0-2, you want to stop that momentum. Mm-hmm. Because the team that's up 2-0, they want to continue that momentum, and they want to break your back. You know, they want to give you no room to breathe. And if they feel as though you get a win, to them that's tantamount to you breathing. So for the Panthers, it is huge. The Golden Knights now realize, okay, so this is not going to be a walk in the park. This isn't going to be easy. We can't just look at them being a low seed and take for granted that we got 2 games at home. If this extends to a 7-game series, we got to put forth our best effort all 3 periods to beat this team.
And it was the third period that killed the Knights because they allowed the tying goal after their forechecking up until the final 3 minutes of the third period was unbelievable. But they let Florida get loose. Matthew Tkachuk tied the game, and yes, black men know hockey. Matthew Tkachuk tied the game, and then Carter Verhaeghe won the game. And congrats to the Panthers for winning their franchise's first ever Stanley Cup final game. Because if you remember the last time they were there in 1996, they were swept by the Colorado Avalanche. But that fourth game, that closeout game, and Jim Durham said it, and I know quite a few other radio announcers said it, but I remember Jim Durham saying the toughest game to win in the series is the closeout game. That game for Colorado took 3 overtimes for them to win. And Uwe Krupp got the game winner. That final was 1-0 in a sweep, and they played that at the Miami Arena. But I want to expound on Frank Clark signing a 1-year deal with the Denver Broncos. I see 2 problems with that. First of all, it's only a 1-year deal.
Okay. And
second, will Frank Clark stay on the field all year? See, I got nothing against Frank Clark. He's one of the best in the business. But if you want to look at the last couple of years he was with Kansas City, it's kind of like what Dee Ford went through with all the injuries before he walked to San Francisco.
It's that, and there's times when he was on the field, you didn't know he was in the game.
Right.
And it seemed as if he picked and chose his spots to perform. Because remember back in the 2019 season, the playoff run, to me, it was Frank Clark that basically took the team on defensively on his shoulders and said, "All right, I got you guys."
And that began with the AFC Championship. Now, actually, that began with the
divisional. It began divisional
Houston.
round.
against Houston, down 24 nothing, and then in 10 minutes it was 28-24, which caused Cole to break his radio in the car and walk away. But be that as it may, it was Frank Clark that put the team on his back defensively, and they walked all the way to the championship down in Miami. The problem was, what have they done? What has he done since then?
And that is the issue that I had, because I was like, okay, because fast forward to this past year, I was thinking to myself, okay, Chris Jones can't do it all,
right?
When it comes to pass rushing, because he has enough worried about run stopping too. You got to help him out, you know. So my thought is, well, where's the pass rush? Where's Frank Clark? I thought that was your expertise, that was your area, and he would be spotty and inconsistent. That's if he was on the field. And then, like you said, then you take into account his availability with injury. And then you take into account as well the fact that off the field he didn't make all the right decisions either.
Exactly. So that's why that's why it's only a 1-year deal with Sean Payton in the bunch in Denver.
And that answers your first question, because I was going to say the reason why you have that 1-year deal is because I don't think the Broncos are 100% sold on the availability of Frank Clark, both with health and with off the field stuff.
No, would you be? I sure as hell wouldn't.
No.
I sure as hell wouldn't.
And it's his talent that's gotten him to Denver, obviously.
Yep.
But no, if I was the Broncos brass, if I was John Elway and them, I would say, oh no, this is going to be.
We're not giving you a multi-year deal, and I've said this in countless groups on that joint we call Facebook, and yes, it's a joint right now. I've said it so many times over. I'll give him a prove it to me year. Yeah. And that's why he's only making $7.5 million. That's the exact reason why he's only making $7.5 million, because it's a prove it to me year. If you can keep yourself in check off the field as well as help us on the field, then yeah, we'll give you an extension. Other than that, you got 1 year to prove yourself to us. And sometimes lately, since 2019, and I know you're a student of the game just like I, and especially when these contracts decided to explode after the 2014 season.
Yeah.
If you don't prove anything within that year, you can be cut before the year is over.
I was going to say, forget the full year. If you don't prove that your worth to that team before the trade deadline, you probably would be cut. And many teams have done that.
Yep. Speaking of cut, that fate happened to Dalvin Cook. And I've got a destination that nobody likes. I got a destination that nobody likes. But if you think about it carefully, it makes a whole lot of sense. And I'll give you a clue right now. It ain't the Buffalo Bills. I'll explain when y'all get back. Along with the man they call Cole Johnson, I am the Snowman. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We're back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I'm in another lane. I'm a different breed. I'm everything you can never be. I'm next level. Next level.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
If you're the kind of person that likes to drive a lot and your car is a little bit older and out of the normal warranty, keep listening. What's going on underneath the hood of your car? If your car is out of warranty, you're at risk of expensive repair bills. Now, for a couple of dollars a day, you can get an extended protection plan for your car. Hey, you love your car, so why not give it a little extra care? And make sure if something goes wrong, your bank account is safe. Literally, for a couple of dollars a day, you can give yourself peace of mind that you purchased a top-tier vehicle repair coverage plan. Call the Auto Protection Network right now and ask how you could save an additional $500 on your policy.
Call 877-845-0463. Call now.
Do you use Viagra or Cialis? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. Call now.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
Because we take this job so serious.
Man, I went home that day and talked to my wife, Vicky. And Vicky was like, "What's wrong with you? You pissed off?" "Yeah, I got this partner I'm working with back in the radio station. Man. The Negro be lying." What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
It most certainly is. And Cole Johnson joins us. Chris Bates will join us at the bottom of hour 2. I'm so excited to have him.
Today.
Yes,
the Bronze GAWD.
Bronze GAWD returns with the Element GAWD in tow. And I dubbed him that yesterday as we had a great conversation offline. Dalvin Cook has been released by the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I saw a list of where he would go, or possible destinations. I beg your pardon. Possible destinations. The top choice, it seems like, for every football fanalist is Buffalo. And in a way, it makes sense. And here's the way it makes sense. He'd be a dreadlock version of Thurman Thomas. And I'm talking about his durability. I'm talking about toting the rock 30 times a game. And I'm talking about, most importantly, and I know you'll love my reason for this, taking the pressure off of Josh Allen.
And
because
that's
the
why
last
it is a
2 years, because the last 2 years, who was the leading rusher for the Bills?
Number 17.
Josh Allen.
And that's why it's a no-brainer. That's to me. And I'm not saying that's where he's going. But the team that really needs to pursue him the hardest, where have you heard this before, is the Bills.
Let's see, trade deadline last year, which brings me to the other team where he would fit even more perfectly, and that would be San Francisco for the same reasons. But instead of taking the pressure off of Purdy, you take it off of Christian McCaffrey.
Here's the problem. That backfield will pretty much be stacked anyway.
Major
I'm not talking about just with McCaffrey.
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, you got Elijah Mitchell there too. So
and then you got Debo, who loves to run the ball now.
Yeah, and then Debo, he'll probably give you about 7 to 10 carries a game too. So
yeah, big carries too. And you're right. That backfield is stacked, and the biggest advantage for San Francisco, they're young. Even with McCaffrey in the backfield, and I had a great conversation with a friend of mine offline about this. Didn't McCaffrey to you, after he got traded to Frisco, seem fresher and younger? Did he seem that way to you?
It seemed like to me he had a new lease on life. I mean, I think it had a lot to do with, I think he felt comfortable being back home because
he's from the Bay.
For those who don't know, he actually lived in the Bay Area and grew
played
up
at
there.
Stanford.
And he went to Stanford in college, and of course grew up there because Ed McCaffrey was a 49er before he was a Bronco, and they basically set roots in the Bay Area. So,
and Ed McCaffrey, his dad, has a ring with the 49ers, 1994.
That is correct. Yeah, he had a ring with 49ers before he had his two with the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you had that. He felt at home. He loves being there, obviously.
Yes.
I think, and of course, to me, I'm getting childhood team vibes too.
Right.
So,
right.
So it's like, okay, I get to play in front of my friends and family, and I get to play in front of the team that I rooted for when I was a child, and then on top of it, he also probably heard the whispers too of, okay, so they think that because of the workload that I had over in Carolina, that pretty much means I'm done. I'm cooked.
Right.
Because that's the top of running backs. Once you get on the injury train, it just keeps feeding on itself.
Yeah.
And they're going to think that basically I'm going to be a non-factor. I'll admit this. I will even say this right now. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And boy, am I glad I was wrong.
Yeah, man.
Because he is an awesome back.
If used correctly, and I said this when he got drafted by Carolina.
And you did say this. Yeah,
if used correctly, McCaffrey is the most dangerous weapon in that offense.
And he wasn't
used correctly. Of course, now you got Brock Purdy in the house, so that pretty much pushes the plunger on that. And the two of them together, you saw the evidence of that. But if used correctly, he's the most dangerous weapon on offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most dangerous weapon on offense. And this first full game against the Rams proved it. He threw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown
and caught
one. And A Pizzle has a great question. And I think this may be a great fit too. Give me your thoughts. What about the Miami Dolphins?
The Dolphins would be a really good fit for Cook, and obviously that's his home state.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would probably have the same feel and vibe about being back in his home state as McCaffrey did going back to San Francisco.
Going back to California. Mm-hmm.
And him going back to California. It's also a need. They need that because I think they're unsure as to where they want to go with the roster they have at running back. So you might have to drool A Pizzle and beg your Dolphins front office to get him. Because I think he'll be really good fit. And talking about taking pressure off of, he would take a lot of pressure off of Tua because Cook is a pretty good run blocker too. So pass blocker too. So he does a lot of things. And I'm glad you mentioned Thurman Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that Thurman Thomas did so well too was he was the reliable runner out pass catcher out the backfield.
Right.
And if all else failed, and even when the tight end was covered, Jim Kelly could just dump it to Thurman Thomas. Kirk Cousins did that so many times with Dalvin Cook, your head would spin. So that would help Tua out so much.
And that disallowed Cousins to rely on his receivers, save Justin Jefferson.
And
that's why Adam Thielen is gone. Justin Jefferson, who's gonna probably get a big contract because of them cutting Dalvin Cook, he's gonna walk next. And looking at the Minnesota Vikings as we talk football here, looking at the Minnesota Vikings, save Justin Jefferson. Who's Kirk Cousins gonna throw it to?
That's it. I mean, you could try Hawkinson, T.J. Hawkinson, who they got in.
Okay, but
when they got the trade deadline last year, but
right, T.J. Hawkins is the tight end.
Rely on him. Yeah,
right. T.J. Hawkinson, and I got nothing against the tight end position. I played it and I understand it. Okay, but given the state of the NFL now, except for Frisco, Philadelphia, Kansas City, and maybe two other teams, who trusts their tight end?
Throw the Ravens in there because Mark Andrews is there.
Mark Andrews
by default.
Yes. Yes.
Mark Andrews is by default the number one receiver. Yes, I know.
Yep.
OBJ is there, but
OBJ's not going to get that many catches. He's Lamar Jackson's going to rely on Andrews.
yeah,
He's going to rely on Andrews.
Mhm.
And Ryan McCarthy had a great question. Had a great point there. He would be a great fit with the Jets until
Brees Hall returned.
Exactly. Then what?
Yeah.
Then what?
And to me, and I'll say this to you, Ryan. I would love to say this straight to your face. I would say the Jets' offense is better with Brees Hall than with Dalvin Cook.
Brees Hall gives you that versatility.
Mhm.
And you heard me mention this name talking about a jackknife running back, Roger Craig.
I did not know he ran with that. I did not know he ran with that much power. That much.
The high knee action should tell you that.
That much low center of gravity power. Yeah.
Yep. 6 foot. Of course, anyone who remembers Roger Craig, 6 foot tall, 215 pounds. He was fast. He was sneaky fast. To borrow John Madden, he was sneaky fast because you never saw Craig, nor Jerry Rice for that matter, run away from the pack until they were running away from the pack. You never saw that. That to me in many ways describes Dalvin Cook, because on the surface he's not fast until he's burning you. And wherever Dalvin Cook lands, my other question is he going to get a prove it to me contract, or are they going to immediately do what San Francisco did? You'd get McCaffrey in a trade and then you immediately extend him. I think what's going to happen is that Dalvin Cook is going to sign somewhere, but it'll be the Frank Clark method. Prove it to me in this year that you can help our offense. And if you do, then maybe beyond the trade deadline, and that's a big fat maybe, because recently Dalvin Cook has dealt with a lot of injuries. Maybe after the trade deadline, if you've played every game, we'll give you an extension. But I don't think Dalvin Cook, and this is nothing against Dalvin Cook, this is nothing against his talent or anything like that.
Or his ability, right?
Yep, or his ability. You and I have said it. Many folks in the chat has said it also. The big question I have with Dalvin Cook is the same with Frank Clark: reliability and availability. Those are my questions with Dalvin Cook.
I will say it depends on the team. It depends on the team. It depends on the usage rate of him as just opposed to the team he's on.
Right.
Like for example, like if he were to go on the Jets, and I know Ryan was sort of hypothetically speaking.
Yes.
If he were to go on the Jets, I could see them doing that type of deal, that type of Frank Clark type of deal. A 1 year, prove it to me. I could see them do that. If it's a team like the Bills or the Dolphins where the need is greater,
then they'll get
I can see them. I could see them going the Christian McCaffrey route. Like, okay, we'll put you on the team, and if you show us that, you are. And this almost sounds insulting the way I'm about to say this about Christian McCaffrey. If you could show us that you were different than in your previous spot,
right,
then we'll extend you.
Well. It sounds insulting, but that's the way the business side of the NFL works. Because San Francisco rolled a lot of dice to get Christian McCaffrey in that trade. But see, Christian McCaffrey has already paid it off. McCaffrey's already paid it off. It's true, A Pizzle, that he has over 1,000 yards every year he's played. You know, I'll say it again. Not questioning his ability, not questioning his talent or anything like that. The team that gets Dalvin Cook is a team that needs him, uses him correctly, and allows him to extend their offense. And I'll repeat a question that, Cole, that you said earlier in this conversation. How many times have we seen Kirk Cousins with pressure in his face, A, not look downfield,
right,
but also B, find Dalvin Cook on a dump pass?
Yeah.
How do you think Kirk Cousins got 4,000 yards passing?
Yeah.
Or at least 3,500 yards passing in the last couple of years? Who do most of those go to?
If it wasn't going to Jefferson, it was going to Cook.
It was going to Dalvin Cook.
And like I said, I've seen Cousins to Cook so many times, my head would spin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to me, and this is directed to you, Epistle. To me, that is where I think Tua would benefit having someone like Cook in the backfield.
Thank you.
Because now his thought is, okay, I want to get it downfield to Waddle. I want to get it downfield to Hill. I want those two thoroughbreds to do their thing. And you do have your others too, but mainly he wants to get the ball to those two.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you make it a little easier on the defense if you're going to do these long step dropbacks to throw it downfield, because it gives you more time to get after the QB. But if you have that option to dump it down and you have the reliability of this back that actually can take the ball and basically take nothing and give you 10 yards,
mm-hmm.
then I think it will be even more beneficial. It'll be more beneficial to everybody. It'll be more beneficial to Tua because he'll take less hits. It'll be more beneficial to Waddle and Hill because
Mm-hmm.
they probably will get more one-on-ones down the field. So you could take advantage of everything having Cook in the backfield. So actually, Dolphins is a good option too. But I think the Bills is a no-brainer.
I'm going to tell you a crazy option. And Victor's going to start drooling. Chicago. Because David Montgomery is now gone.
Back. Yeah, I was about
David Montgomery is now gone.
Yeah, I was about to say, Montgomery's gone.
And though they have a porous offensive line, just like Carolina, we'll get to Carolina in a minute.
Only problem.
That's the biggest problem. You know what? Let's get to the Bears right now. Since it's a football Friday, and because of the time change, Sam won't be able to join us, so we're going to make some adjustments as we go. 35 after the hour, 36 now after the hour. Thank you for those of you joining us on WLEO as well as WIRUDB in my hometown of Chicago, and everyone in the region, across the nation, and around the world on BS3 TV as well as CSTV. Let's first of all let's get to Carolina, and I mentioned this in the whip around. In a move that surprised absolutely no one, QB1 is Bryce Young. I mean, who the hell is surprised?
So,
well, if you look at it on Facebook, if you look on Facebook, 3/4 of the people who had that piece of clickbait would be surprised. They were surprised. They were truly surprised. Those of us who knew, A, didn't act surprised, and B, why are we shocked?
Yeah,
why are we shocked?
I mean, he's gotten raves. I mean, and I'm not necessarily talking about from the Carolina camp.
Right.
He's gotten raves saying people were saying that back when he was in Alabama, they said he knew the playbook better than Bill O'Brien, who was the offensive coordinator of University of Alabama.
Oh, let me throw this point up there about Dalvin Cook, and thank you, Tom O'Boyle, for this. By releasing Dalvin Cook, the Vikings freed up $9 million in cap space for this season, and another $12.5 million next year. $21 million in
where
savings.
I think it's going to go eventually, though. You mentioned
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
they're working on a big contract extension for Justin Jefferson, well earned and well deserved. Back to Carolina. Who's surprised that Bryce Young is QB1? That's why they drafted him number one overall.
Yeah, and I'm sure David Tepper, the owner of the team, I'm sure he said to the coaching staff, "Get this guy ready. I want him to start game 1 of the season.
Yeah,
I want him to be the guy." So for him to take first team snaps now doesn't shock me at all.
And my question remains: who's surprised? Those of us, and I'm including the folks in the chat, those of us who really follow the game and follow the league, who's surprised? And you know who's next? CJ Stroud. There will be an announcement middle of the summer that CJ Stroud's going to be elevated to QB1 if he's not elevated there already.
I think he'll get some reps. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling they probably will hold off putting him in the QB1 spot probably till midway through the season. I just get that feeling,
Yeah.
and it's not because of his ability. It's more along
Yeah,
the
I can
lines
see
of his
that.
experience.
Yeah, I can see that, and you got a good point. Carolina just needs stability at the quarterback position because
And
the last 4 years they have not had it.
And that's why that situation is different. And and who was going to compete with Bryce Young? And that's another reason.
Push that button and answer the question, please.
Right. That's another reason why it's not a surprise. Who is going to compete with Bryce Young for the starting quarterback position for the Carolina Panthers?
There you go.
So that doesn't surprise
me. And Andy, you expected Andy Dalton to compete? Who actually get ready again? Who actually thought Andy Dalton was going to compete for the QB1 position in Carolina? There you go.
Oh, he's a placeholder. I mean, if his last stint didn't teach you that, I don't know what does.
It's the same with Sam Darnold in Frisco.
Yeah, he's a placeholder.
It's the same with Sam Darnold is a placeholder. All these raves coming out about Trey Lance improving his mechanics, bravo, but you can't teach experience.
And you also can't teach chemistry either.
Exactly. And right now the chemistry class belongs to Brock Purdy.
And I did not see that team gel with Trey Lance at QB.
No.
In fact, I saw that same offensive unit flounder with him at QB.
Look at game 1 against the Bears.
Yeah.
Look at game
they
1
had they had a 10-0 lead going
the
into half, and they did nothing in the second half.
Nothing. They went away from their plan. Now, part of that I blame Kyle Shanahan and his play calling, but be that as it may, Kyle Shanahan in week 1 was handcuffed with the limited ability, and he's still limited at this point because of lack of reps. I got nothing against Trey Lance and his talent. Don't get it twisted. But I've said this since his supposed to be showout day at North Dakota State in front of scouts only.
Seasoning.
He threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he needs more seasoning.
He absolutely needs more seasoning, and that's why I think come trade deadline, Trey Lance will be sent packing.
I'm surprised he hasn't been sent packing yet. Now, but to me,
by the trade deadline, Trey Lance will be gone, if not before then.
Yeah, to me, Brock Purdy is a quarterback of the future in San Francisco. The only big time if is the arm health. That's it. Outside of that, the way that team, and I'm talking about defensively too, the way that team responded to him and how he guided the team through the rest of that regular season and the first 2 playoff games, I'm like, wow, they really believe in this guy, not from the, well, we got to pick the rookie up standpoint. It's from the we actually like what he does standpoint.
Right. The rookie picked them up.
Yeah, and he picked them
There's
up.
The crazy part. The rookie picked them up. And no one expected that of Mr. Irrelevant, who is very relevant now. And I've been getting a lot of reports. He is on track to start September 10th.
Now, if that's the case, I like the 49ers chances better.
But I want the progression to be slow with Purdy because it's borderline Tommy John surgery.
Rather it be slower, yes.
Yeah, I'd rather them keep Lance and Darnold can thrive in this 49er offense because, and I said this before, Darnold has something he never had with the Jets and he never had with Carolina. Weapons.
Running game. Yeah, well, definitely
Not only that,
weapons.
Not only a running game, but he's got weapons. He's got Deebo Samuel. He's got George Kittle. He's got Brandon Ayuk. He's got Elijah Mitchell. And the most important thing that he had in Carolina, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. So, and to me, the Kyle Shanahan offensive system is probably a quarterback's best friend. And I know a lot of people say, well, Brock Purdy was protected by it. To a degree, yes. But you do not win 10 straight. And all 10 of those times and all 10 of those games, he showed that he was being protected by the scheme and the system.
5 of those 10 came with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I look at
That's what y'all don't get. Garoppolo was having that offense in sync before his injury, and then Brock Purdy just came on and took it to another level.
To me, and I've said this to you in private. To me, the wild card game, the middle of the third quarter to the middle of the fourth quarter, that to me was when Brock Purdy established himself as an NFL caliber QB and the QB of the future in Santa Clara. Because the first half, he was uneven, and it did look as though the moment was too big for him. But somehow he got settled down, and then you look up and he had a 300-yard game.
Mm-hmm. His first 300-yard game
with no mistakes. So I'm like, wow, okay.
And again, that was his first. That was his first ever 300-yard game was a playoff game.
Yeah. So he's comfortable. It showed me, one, he's comfortable with the system. Two, the skill position players love what he does, which that is huge and key. And the biggest key, number 3, that line loves to block for him.
Man, that offensive line for San Francisco, especially with the undrafted rookies that they have to give themselves a little depth and to find their starter at right tackle, who I think is going to be Il Manning out of Hawaii. That line was nasty.
Yeah.
Second half of the year, they flowed, man. They got it together.
They got back to their 2019 form.
Yep. They wanted to punish you.
They wanted to punish people. Like I loved the fact that they got a chance to ride the Trent Williams wave the year before, where and I love big men that can move and want
Trent
to just
Williams
simply
and Trent Williams was that
and simply want to truck you. My favorite play the 49ers run is when they pull him. When they pull him and they do a sweep to the right. That is my favorite play they run. Because I get to see Trent Williams just maul either a defensive end, a linebacker, or defensive back.
Trent Williams is entering his 14th season, and you would think it was his rookie year with the way that he's played, the way he has been healthy outside of 2020 for San Francisco.
Yeah.
My favorite play with Trent Williams came in a playoff game against Green Bay. And I know Green Bay had to be thinking, what the hell are they doing? Trent Williams goes in motion.
Like a tight end. Yeah.
From left to right. It was a 3rd and 1.
That was beautiful.
Samuel lined up in the backfield opposite of Elijah Mitchell. It was an offset formation. And the next thing you see is Trent Williams going in motion like a tight end, like you said. You hand it to Mitchell, it's a plus 10 yards because Trent Williams just mauled 2 defenders.
Yep.
He went in motion.
Yeah, mauled 2 defenders, and the ball carrier wasn't touched until he got tackled. So when you have that type of nastiness on the line, oh man, that gives a quarterback hope, and that gives quarterback confidence. And then when the quarterback executes and he gives you no mistakes, that gives the line confidence, because then they fire off on those blocks, whether it's run or pass. Because I'll tell you this, offensive lines, and I'm saying this from experience, offensive lines do not love to pass block.
No, they want to hit you. They want to run block.
Yes, they want to run block because they're more aggressive. They get a chance to dictate pace. They get a chance to actually show that they have the strength to say, look, I'm more man than you, and we're going to prove it.
But Trent Williams in motion. Okay, how do you?
That was beautiful.
How do you prepare for that? And remember, Frisco had not run that play all year.
That was the first time they ran it. Yep.
That was the 2021 season I'm referring to. They had not run that play all year. They had not run that play all year. And then all of a sudden, in the third quarter on a 3rd and 1, you see Trent Williams go in motion, and I know Green Bay and company had to be thinking, what the hell are they doing? And then Elijah Mitchell gets plus 13 on what turned out to be a regular running play.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a regular running play. Come on, man.
which makes it even better because you would think that this would be something they would do for an exotic play,
right?
But it was just, it was just basically just a straight, a straight.
It was a dive.
Dive. I was like, dug on it. I
It was
know
a-
the run.
it was
I
a
know
dive. It was a dive
I
to the
know the
right.
run play. I can't think of the play.
And that actually
Dive.
came in the
Thank
second.
you.
That actually came in the second quarter. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
The first time they ran it, it came in the second quarter, and the first time they ran it, let's throw Trent Williams some praise and some flowers. The first time they ran that play, because they ran it twice in that game.
They did.
Why is Trent Williams in the backfield? Shouldn't that give you pause right there? If you see big number 71, 6'8", 345 pounds,
and he has
in the backfield,
and he has yards of momentum. Oh
Yep.
gosh, he's tough and he's tough enough straight off the snap.
Okay, so Trent Williams lined up. Trent Williams, I mean, he's a badass man just off the snap of the ball, playing left tackle or other spots on the line, which we've seen him do. Thank you, Jesse Sapolu. But to see him line up in fullback formation in front of Mitchell, he comes up to the line, sets, and then 2 seconds later, you see him going in motion from right to left, and you're sitting there going, "What is he doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't that given Matt LaFleur a little bit of a fright?
He gave me fright, and I was a spectator.
Right. I mean, shouldn't that frighten you?
You you do not want to have a man that big, who proves that he's that mobile too, have that much momentum before he collides with somebody
going forward. Like you said, going forward. Tom, have a great weekend, my man. We'll see you on Monday.
See you, man.
But going forward, the toughest. I'll give you another example. The playoff game against Dallas, the one in Santa Clara, divisional matchup.
Yeah.
Didn't look like in the second half that San Francisco just snatched the soul out of Dallas? And they did that by running. They did that by correcting the mistakes they made in the first half and running the damn ball.
It was a tale of two halves. You got to be fully understanding about football to understand how much it was a tale of two halves.
Right.
Because you look at the final score of 19-12, you would think, okay, well, it was a good contest. It was a
good
great
contest,
game, but it was close.
All right, it was a great game.
Yeah, it was a great game, but you would think, okay, it was close, it was evenly matched, and the 49ers got one more play than the Cowboys did. No. The first half, to me, it was even, almost to the point where I would even say the Cowboys actually, to me, played better than the 49ers the first half.
They did. They absolutely did.
And then the adjustment in the second half, the 49ers dominated both lines of scrimmage. And I love the fact that they decided to be patient on offense, because I think that helped out the defense too. They were patient on offense. They did not go for the big home run.
Right.
They wanted to, in chunks, get the momentum. And then they had that long drive that sustained where the first play of the fourth quarter, they scored a touchdown, and that ended up being the difference maker.
And they bridged that drive between the third and the fourth quarter. And the key to that play, thank you, Trent Williams, again. The key to that play was that 33-yard completion to George Kittle.
Yeah.
And Kittle had no business making that catch. He had no business catching that.
He should have been lit up.
He should have been smacked. And that should have been a second down play back at the 18-yard line. But give the Niners offensive line a little bit of praise here for blocking for Purdy on that beautiful bootleg.
Yep.
And Purdy had a full 5 seconds to make that throw.
And that's why I say that line loves to block for him. If you can get to a point where you can contribute as a QB,
yeah,
they don't mind pass blocking. They'll pass
no,
protect.
They don't.
They'll pass protect if you as a quarterback take care of your business and go to the right guy. And not put them in positions where they make mistakes. Because if you do, The sacks that you see, many of them that you do witness, it is because offensive linemen are like, okay, I'm not going to give as much effort in protecting the QB behind me because he's going to screw the game up.
In other words, fear.
Yeah.
Fear.
They
fear.
fear the QB's going to make a mistake. So they're not going to go full out and protect him.
But then you get to Frisco's offensive line, and believe me, they started real slow the last 2 years. They get it together. They got it. They saved the NFC Championship where the Eagles defense just mauled us. All right, the Eagles defense was just on that game.
That was
right, and
that was a masterclass in how defense.
That's my other adopted team. That's my other adopted team, Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia just mauled us.
Yeah, that was a masterclass of how a whole defense could just simply destroy an offense.
And that masterclass belonged started by one person, Hassan Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
With that,
one of the best pass rushes last year. Yeah, one of the best pass rushes last year, and and he perfect form,
and that was
just like
pass
totally.
And I've had so many 49er fans come to me, and they say, you know what, that play by Reddick, A, was terrific, and B, it was a totally legal play. His intent was to sack. His intent was to sack the quarterback. He just got a bonus and chopped the ball away from Purdy.
Yeah, because
he just got a bonus and chopped the ball away.
Yeah, because what he wanted to do was force a turnover. That's really what he wanted to do, and he did his job.
He
just unfortunately so happened that he accidentally injured the QB in the process because that wasn't on purpose.
That was not his intent. And for those of you who thought it was his intent, shut up. Just shut up.
No,
it was not his intent at all.
It's unfortunate that's just football. You're gonna have an injury like that.
It happens. It happens to the best of the best of the best. Leonard Marshall. Hello.
Yeah.
January 13th, 1991.
To me, and I still say this to this day, that is the cleanest nasty hit. That's the nastiest clean hit I've ever seen in my life.
It is, man. That's why I have so much respect for Bill Parcells. That's one of the reasons, I beg your pardon. I have so much respect for Bill Parcells and those Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bill Parcells wanted to hit you. Bill Parcells wanted his defense to terrorize you.
Yeah, he was like, look, we're about punishing. Let's punish them. Let's punish that offense.
And he got us, man.
And that's what a defense is supposed to do. They are supposed to be the ones that just make an offense difficult to actually operate and execute.
Yep.
And you play football. I did too. I mean, it is.
I've called the game for 25 years. You do what you do in the textbook. You do what it says in your playbook. Number one, and number two, you do it the textbook way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Montana was getting ready to throw, didn't feel Leonard Marshall, and Leonard Marshall popped him.
And what makes that play even better, Marshall was pancaked. Steve
Wallace got him.
Yeah, Steve Wallace
got him.
Steve Wallace did his
job. The
job.
job was done on both sides. Okay, that was just a clean getaway. That was just a clean getaway. And Leonard Marshall did not give up on the play.
No.
Because remember, Montana had a full 3 seconds to get rid of the football.
Mm-hmm.
And he was getting ready to because he spotted John Taylor downfield.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Marshall, bless your heart, did not give up on the play. And that's what you want from a defense that nasty, that good, and that hungry.
Because they were. That all 11 of them were hungry.
Man, I was at Northeast Missouri State. And as much mess as my friends gave me about Frisco losing, we all stood up and applauded at the end of that game. And I ran into some Giants fans, and they were like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm good. I will take," and I mean this to this day, and it's been 30 plus years, I will take a 15-13 loss against the second best team in the NFC, which was the New York Football Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Giants were the only team in that entire run to hold the 49ers under 20 points.
Right.
From 88 to 90.
And they did it twice that year.
They did 7-3 in the regular season, 15-13 in the NFC Championship. The Giants were the only team from 88 to 90 that held Frisco under 20 points.
And yes, Ron. Yeah. And yes, Ryan, shout out to LT on that play because that is what made Leonard get the shot, and that's what made Montana clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did a pump because the Hassan Reddick to Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Montana didn't want that to happen, so he did a pump so he would avoid Taylor doing that to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets blindsided and trucked.
Ooh,
that was a great shot.
my wife and I watched that play, and I said this turned the game around for the Giants because Giants got the ball and they moved it and they got a field goal. They made it 13-12. And Jody asked me, "Weren't you afraid that Montana was going to get hit that play?" I said, "Baby, listen, Montana's been hit for 11 years up to that point." And she starts laughing. She says, "Good point."
and that's not the first time the Giants in a playoff game, I may add.
Hell no.
Montana. Off of it.
84, 86, and 87. All right. They I will say this before we go to hour 2. I will say this about Bill Parcells and the Giants. They terrorized our asses. They terrorized. They did two things. They terrorized the 49ers and they brutalized them. Twice in the Meadowlands in a playoff game, 17-3 and 49-3 the year before. 84 when we beat him 21-10, and surprised we only got 21 points because the Niners got 14 in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Yeah, I think that's
and then in that divisional,
that's when we knew that okay, the Giants are up and coming. They're not there yet, but man, they're going to be.
And we also knew the Giants
figure it out. Yeah,
and we also knew the Giants were sticking around for a long time. For a long time,
it was all about if they could figure it out, and if they could figure it out, they're going to be trouble.
They're going to be hellacious, and they were hellacious. All right, it's the top of hour 2. And we're going to talk some more. We're going to talk some more football, and we love talking football with the fans because hour 2 starts right about now. Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2,
the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, YSL.
Oh man, I thought I missed it. What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now. You and that damn picture of the fan falling into the basket at Wrigley Field and Chris Base's voice behind it. Welcome back. This is hour 2. Snowman along with Cole Sports. Wise is in the chat with us. He said he had to work yesterday and today. Man, handle your business. We get it. Handle your business.
Hopefully I'll see you later today, bro. But yeah.
But that picture right there. That one and the one you found of Mumra being fully transformed and you put Wise's voice behind it. Now, anyone who has watched the show since last summer knows where that joke came from. But Lori Lightfoot, the now former mayor of the city of Chicago, Cole had to find the most god-awful picture. And then the term came out of 2 terms, Uncle Lori and Uncle Foot.
Cool, brother. Oh, my gosh.
Uncle Lori and Uncle Foot. And Wise, thank you for Wednesdays with Wise on the Brian Snow Show.
Oh, yes.
Treasure.
Bravo,
treasure.
Bravo to you two. That was great.
Then
that was great. And thank you, brother, for your kind words, man.
And then you found that picture of her eyes bugged out and her mouth partially open. Ryan was in North Carolina, and Ryan and I talked about this Monday night. Ryan was in North Carolina, and
oh gosh,
someone like put the thought of Victor, damn you, put the thought in my head, and I said, all right, let me do this. I did the chant. For those of you who watch Thundercats, you know what the chant is. I did the chant. Cole did the thunder sounds, and then that picture came up. I cussed. No one caught it, thank God. But all you hear Ryan, bless your heart, Dad. All you hear Ryan go is, Dad. And we come back and we see Ryan just laid out like this. Well, there was a part yesterday, and I had Victor on yesterday, where we paid tribute to the genius that is Cole Johnson and some of the elements that he came up with. And then Victor posed a question yesterday. And Victor, I want you to pose it again in the chat. What is one element that Cole came up with that got you in trouble? And I pushed the button we usually push on Wednesdays. And Victor said, no, that wasn't it. And now I remember why. Because of that incident with the ever living. Mm-hmm. And then you find that, and I know how you did it, but you zoom in on Mum-Ra with Wise's voice in the background going, oh man, I thought I missed it.
I came this close to doing a Lori Lightfoot picture on it.
I thought you were
this close. But I was like,
what made you change your mind?
I was like, I could, but I think Mum-Ra would be even more comical. So I'll go with Mum-Ra. And I guess
Mum-Ra fit.
And I guess it slipped into inside joke territory. Yeah.
Mum-Ra fit. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it all started with that chant, and then me killing Ryan McCarthy after you put that picture up, which zoomed in and out. That's it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So we got an answer from Wise. This is the one that got Wise in trouble. And then this happened.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
The f is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What? Whole studio dying. Okay? Whole studio is a mess.
If ever I did not do the ever again, that response was well worth it.
The look on Wise's face when he said it. Okay, and then he apologized. Bless your heart, Wise. I love you, brother. Then he apologized with a straight face. He go, and Cole and I are like dying at this point. All right? Here it is again.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
The f is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What? He's looking like he scolded like he scolded a child for making an honest mistake, and then he apologized.
Oh gosh, that was
speaking to fatherhood and grandfatherhood, as I am a proud grandpapa, just like Wise. It's like you scolded one of your grandchildren, and then you realize what you did.
Mm-hmm.
But his look never changed.
No.
His look never. That's the crazy part. His look never changed. I mean, he said it, and then he had that same.
It's like the latest episode of Mentality when
he was
going in on Dave Portnoy when he said.
Will you play that, please? I began the show with it, but will you play that, please?
Okay, I'll play the beginning of this rant.
Yes.
Yeah, sports are great, but without your health, you get nothing. Like, I'm on the verge of dying, so, like, what's more important, really? Sports or being dead? Like, dead.
And now I turn the floor over to you. What is there to gain from posting a video while supposedly under a fever?
First of all, I don't wish anyone death.
No,
I don't wish anyone death.
I don't either.
But I might make an exception for Dave Portnoy's. Dave Portnoy. I could give two if he was home throwing up, vomiting. I could give two. The first nominee for moron of the year, it was Dave Portnoy.
How much fun did you have editing that?
Oh gosh, I think I had to watch that part. I think I watched maybe 40 times before I even put the censor on it. But
because I know you had time, I know in editing, I know you had to time that.
Yeah.
And before you got ready to put that in, put the bleep in, you couldn't help it but laugh.
No, I couldn't.
Right? Am I in the ballpark somewhere?
Oh yeah, you are. And I tried to stifle it, and it was painful to stifle.
I bet it was.
Oh my head would hurt and my face would hurt from trying to just hold back, just going because I wanted
and just falling out your seat laughing.
Falling out the seat laughing. Yeah. What got me though was the end of the rant where he actually told Dave Portnoy to kick the bucket.
He did.
And then the middle of it where where he said with a straight face, oh my gosh, quote, I hope you have diarrhea of the mouth
and of the ass.
Close quote. And then when I repeated it back to him in a fit of laughter saying, you actually want him to have diarrhea of the mouth and the behind. Wise's countenance was like this.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my Lord have mercy.
Y'all do that with such this is one reason I especially enjoy the end of the end of the shows with you and Wise.
Oh gosh.
The glee you had when you set it up for him and you knew it was coming. All right. You knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. But the glee you had and the pause in the middle of it. See, people don't think I catch things. When you said, and now, sir, and you paused for a couple of seconds, I think at that time you were stifling a laugh. Am I right? You were trying to stifle a laugh because your grin was from here to Houston.
Because I just knew when I saw the video. Forget unveiling in front of Wise. When I saw the video, I was imagining this rant. I was imagining the rant that was coming.
You saw it coming, right?
Yeah.
You saw it coming.
So I was preparing myself not to crack up on site when I actually put it in the show.
Yep.
And so when I said, and now I turned the floor over to you, my thought was, I'm going to try to keep a straight face, but I know I'm going to fail miserably because what Wise is about to say is going to be absolutely hilarious.
Then on top of that, when you introduced it to him and you said, I turn the floor over to you, what do you think of Dave Portnoy supposedly recording this while he had a fever and the look on your face?
Because I was expecting something. I didn't know what I was expecting something. Because
you were expecting Wise to give you something.
And boy did he.
Boy did he ever. And then folks, There was one time that Cole got himself. This was back in March, and here's what happened.
Trace,
Yo, Victor, you let him get away with that, Victor? Oh man, Victor. Oh, my
What in the fire blue, yellow belly, red blooded hell was that? You know, and we had, I mean this playfully, Cole and I had a fight with elements. Okay.
Yeah, before that led to it. Yeah.
We had that lit everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Cole and I had a fight. And it went like this.
Trace.
Wait, wrong clip. False start. I got the wrong. See, like I said, Cole and I had a fight. And here's part of it.
Son. Infinity Trace. That's what you are, Victor Law. Infinity Trace, son.
Why the you love?
Infinity Trace all day long, son.
Why the
Infinity Trace all day long, son.
Why the
all day long, son. That's
why the
look at the screen. You go, look at the screen, son. You go see the rest of the show. Look at the screen, son. Look at the screen, son. Look at the screen. Look at the screen, son. Look at the screen. Infinity Trace.
Why the
all day, every day. This with you. You gonna see this. You can see the live screen.
Stop the camera.
You can see the live screen, the white letter with the Victor Law, and you see the black Infinity Tray with the white piper.
Oh, you were finished.
Day, son.
Oh, you were finished.
File it in your memory bank, son. I want you to see.
You were finished.
I want you to see all this.
Oh, you were
all this.
Oh, you were finished.
All this.
Oh, you were finished.
All this.
Oh, you were finished.
All this.
That went on for a full 2 minutes. That went on for a full 2 minutes, and I'm about to cry from laughter. I applaud you for somehow, and I repeat, somehow staying in character. Because I was just waiting for you to lose it. Because everybody in the chat when that was going on was like on fire. They were losing it. I played this. I played this for Jody, and Jody looked at me and asked me one simple question.
Oh Lord.
She says, "How long did this go on?" And now she's on the verge of bursting out laughing. And remember, Jody's not a sports nerd like I.
Of course.
She says, "How long did this go on?" I said, "About 2.5 minutes." She lost it. She lost it. I mean,
I think what kept it together for me was I wanted to get to the trays
yes,
part.
Yes, yeah, because you
So I was
recorded it that morning, did you?
Yeah,
You made
I recorded
early
it. I recorded that morning. Yeah, and the idea came to me before the show, like 5 minutes before the show started. The idea came to me because I actually was. I don't know why "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple was in my head, but all of a sudden, I was in the bathroom and I was like, trays.
And that was that.
Yeah, and that was that.
And you're like, okay, I gotta voice this.
Gotta voice it. So while the show was running, I voiced it and did the video elements for it, and I was like, okay, hopefully this will pop off. And so I was trying to set up for that.
Hopefully nothing. Hello, Lucy. Lucy wanted to get in on the fun, y'all.
How you doing, Lucy? Man, I was geeked for that. So
I bet.
So when we were stuck on Vicola,
see,
it was even funnier.
When you did it that way, you're gonna see the line screen. You're gonna see the white letter with the Vicola. I was done.
Vicola.
I was done. okay? Because when you live where Cole and I have lived, there's a store in that neighborhood where every name is mispronounced, and Cole enacted it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're gonna see the line screen, you're gonna see a little bit of Victor Law, and that did it for me. I walked out. Even while I walked out, came back, pushed another button after I pushed stop the cap, and then he came back with the Victor.
Oh Lord!
Victor called me that afternoon laughing, and I remember his first sentence to me in the midst of laughter. I broke down from laughing. I bet
whole morning.
Victor called me and said, "I've been immortalized." I'm just glad I wasn't behind the wheel when Victor said that to me.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
And how'd you? Okay, I've got, before we go to break, I've got to know this.
Okay,
how'd you come up with Vicala? How'd you come up with that, man?
All right, this is simple yet complicated.
Yeah.
So, you know, when especially old black people that grew up in the country.
Yes. Oh God. Yes.
And you love them because they tell you some wonderful stories and they have a great heart for people, and you see it, but they can butcher a name like that.
Like that.
And the thing is, they will butcher the full name. Not just the first name, they'll butcher the last name too. They will butcher all the name.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, huh. So when when Victor was getting at Ray,
yes,
I was like, what's the best way I could get back at Victor? I was like, oh, I know how I could do it. Oh, I know how I could do it. Act like I'm an old man.
Yes.
And act like he's saying Victor Locke.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying.
And he tries this, and he's trying to say it, but it just will never come out right.
It's just right.
And so Vicala was how I did it at first, but I was like, no, that's too strong. It has to. You have to ease off a little bit. So I was like, oh, okay, I know, yeah, just straight up like
right.
And so that's when Vicala was born.
Came to life.
It came to life.
That's when it came to life. You're gonna see the line screen. You're gonna see the white lady with the Victor Law. I was done. Even though I was pushing buttons, I was done. That description right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all have a favorite element, put it in the chat. All right. And like I said, the element God is here with me. We're gonna have the Bronze GAWD in about 13 minutes. Dear God in heaven.
Oh, that's gonna be hilarious.
I'm not gonna say anything. I love Chris Bass to death.
I doubt we.
But I know when he gets here at the bottom of the hour, I'm not going to hold it together. I'm warning y'all right now. I'm not going to hold it together.
No, I'm not.
Ain't no way.
Oh, I already know.
Ain't no way in hell I'm going to hold it together. Not a chance. I'm going to try, but not a chance. I mean, does this tell you anything?
Because we take this job so serious.
Man, I went home that day and talked to my wife, Vicky. And Vicky was like, what's wrong with you? You pissed off? Yeah, I got this partner I'm working with back in the radio station. The Negro be lying. What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the morning with Cole.
Does that tell you anything? Does the intro to hour 2 tell you anything about how much we love having Chris Bass on? And that was a suggestion. And Bass, bless his heart, jumped all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby. Okay. let's recalibrate. We'll get ready for Game 4 of the NBA World Championship Series. We'll break that down, and then the Bronze God will join us. God help us, and I mean that with all the love in my heart. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
And that was taken right from Mentality, folks. I was taken right from the show. Colin Ryan back here with you, 27 after the hour. You know who's coming in a few minutes. But let's get this one in. Game 4 tonight of the NBA World Championship Series, and yes, I still call it that. If the Heat don't stop Nikola Jokic, the series is over this weekend.
Well, if that's the case, the series is over now. They're not going to stop them. And I love how people say, well, force him to be a scorer. I'm like, no, that's not it. I mean,
here we go with the finalists again.
Right. He can still go off, and the team can still win because he scored half their points. That's not what you want to do.
Game one, anybody?
Yeah, that's not what you want to do. It's not the points.
Mm-hmm.
It's you have to stop the others from being effective. So that means you have to get that assist total down. So have him not look for other people.
And
have him not want to pass the ball. That is the key.
And then 30, 20, and 10 happened.
Yeah, 30, 20, and 10 in Game 3.
No, we got to stop, yo.
And he made it look like it was easy. And the same with Jamal Murray, who also got a 30-point triple-double too. It just made it look easy.
Thank you, Jamal Murray, for that. Thank you, Jamal Murray, for rebounding and stepping up when the team needed you.
Mm-hmm.
because they're all going to pin it at the feet of Jamal Murray. Oh, you didn't help in game 2. Miami just kind of figured out some things defensively. Give them credit. They figured out some things defensively. That's why they're in the World Championship Series.
Yeah, because they're really a good defensive team. I mean,
they're a wonderful defensive team.
When they're locked in, they are really hard to score against.
They are a wonderful defensive-minded team. Period. They're a wonderful defensive-minded team.
And you're talking about a team in the Nuggets, they can sneeze 110 points. So you hold them under that, that's a feat.
I think they were the second or third leading scoring team in the NBA behind Sacramento.
Right.
Yeah, we can shut up now.
Yes, we can.
And now, the transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the Bronze GAWD, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
Showtime in the garden, kids. Chris Bass is here. Good morning, my friend. Great to have you as always.
Good morning. You have to stop shutting up on my account. You have to stop doing that. He could have waited a few minutes and continued on, and then brought me. It's time to shut up. Shut up now. Don't shutty.
Don't
shutty. Finish your point. And then bring me on. I'm cool in the game with that.
He said, "Don't shutty." I love it.
Yeah, and don't shutty.
Away we go. And away we go. Already, and away we go.
Well, first of all, hello, gentlemen. Of course, to Snowman, to the mad scientist, everybody there in the comment section. I missed you all. And so let me address, obviously, what had happened to me. So not to get into too much detail, but health issues are very important. So for me, you try to be proactive. And if something's not right, and you're not feeling well, and you need to get yourself checked out. So I talked to my general practitioner. We were back and forth on the phone and decided to have a plan of action. So I had to come in and do some blood work, I get an echocardiogram, and things of that nature. So I'm on the mend, but like anything else, my PSA, public service announcement to everybody out there, if your body, you're not feeling right, and it continues on, do not ignore it, because it can really be anything. And I'm not saying this because it happened to me, but from the standpoint of I wasn't always the best patient. But it gets to a point where you have to do a 180 and realize that if you don't do this, who will? If you don't do it, then who's going to tell you to do it? And sometimes we get hard-headed and don't want to hear it, but it has to happen. So it's been really, for me, a forced sabbatical. But I'm glad to be back, and it's nice to be doing this, what I love. And it does give you different perspective when you're away from something that you love very much. But I must say that, like anything else, as the old adage said from the old movie, The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home.
Well, we are glad that you are, well, we consider home for you. Glad you're back, man. And yeah, I agree. Health is extremely important. And so I'm glad that you are on the mend. All right, so besides that, what is on your mind?
Well, first, before I do anything else, shout out to my grandson, Emery. Today is his birthday. He's 2 years old. And talk about how time flies, man. 2 years old, man. So, grandson, the gift's on the way. It should arrive to your home by tomorrow. Thank you, Amazon. And that I just wish I was there to celebrate it with them. But happy birthday to my grandson, Emery. They live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, the desert. Okay.
Happy birthday, Emery.
Yeah, good stuff.
And good to see you back, my friend. The last couple of weeks we've missed you, and health issues can strike anybody.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I'm gonna read this on the air because I recently had an MRI in Indianapolis, and the results have come back, and y'all are seeing this and hearing this live while I do this, and I'm so happy to say that everything came back clean. All the tested, and I'm like I said, just read it live. All the results came back clean, and there's no detection of anything, because they scanned the abdomen where the cancer was. The biggest thing I had feared, and Jody also, was my liver, because about a year and a half ago, as I revealed here on the program, they cited some spots on the liver. They are now gone.
Yes.
That's all right there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Won't he do it?
Congratulations. They are now gone. And like I said, I just read the results just now. So, and everyone was asking how it went. There's your answer.
Now we know.
There's my answer. It is nice.
It's nice.
It is
beautiful. That's wonderful news. I'm telling you. Also, and thank you for sharing that. Because again, like anything else, and I'll say it's not, and I get to other stuff in my cranium, which is very scary. But I think that again, just as a word to the wise, if you're not feeling well and you've known your body all your life, just take time out to just get a checkup, just in case. You know, you just never know.
Yes. And it was that just in case 2 years ago, this month actually, where I had my fall with bilateral blood clots in both my lungs. If it wasn't for my daughter and my wife riding to the rescue and get me in an ambulance and get me to the hospital, they would have never discovered that mass on my left abdomen. And this is after treatment for the blood clots. They would have never discovered that. So, man, you're right, Base. That checkup and the ones that followed, including the surgery at IU Med Center, have been huge to me.
That's all right, right there.
Stuff.
You gotta take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to.
Great stuff. I'm loving it.
So let's see. So, and thank you again for sharing. That's more than awesome.
Thank you.
So while I was away, you can't say there's no God, because thank God that Shannon Sharp is leaving Fox Sports 1.
Here we go.
I think it's one of the best moves I've seen in sports in a very long time. You cannot work across the table from somebody that doesn't respect you. And that goes back, of course, to Skip Bayless. And the many times we've seen this happen, to me, and I said this on this very program, when they had the blow up, when Bayless was holding on to the retired, stale jockstrap of one Tom Brady and would not respect the man across the table from him, is sad. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This dude, I mean, come on, just a 3-time NFL champion playing tight end.
Yeah.
And
Not
so
an easy position to master.
one of the toughest positions to play.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not an easy position to master.
And it just, I mean, look, we've seen this happen, unfortunately, over time with someone like a Skip Bayless, but it's the fact that I said then that if I was managing him or consulting him, we got to get out now.
Right.
We got to get out right now. And so I'm glad that he's leaving. He's going to leave after the NBA Finals. Good on you, man. Good for you. It's like, remember the scene from, I want to say it was Rocky 2. And so Apollo was about to have the rematch with Rocky. And his manager was telling, I think it was the first one, the second one, but he was telling him, baby, we don't need a man like that in our life.
Right.
He told him that. So I would have told Shannon Sharp that about Skip. Baby, we don't need a man like that in our life.
Absolutely
We
not.
don't, because we can move on and do much better. So I'm very happy for Mr. Sharp. I wish him well in his future endeavors. I think he'll do great things.
I think so too. I mean,
I think so too.
He already has a platform in Club
Right.
Shay Shay. Although I'm with you, Base. The name leaves a lot to be desired, but the platform doesn't. And I mean, I think he's going to do better than good.
Yes, I agree. And like I said before, I don't know the background of the Shay Shay. If his mama call him Shay Shay, I'll call him Shay Shay. I mean, I could see something like that.
Yeah, I can see
that.
If your mama call you that, I'm with your mama. So that's fine. We will call you Shay Shay and a hip hop parade, and that's all right there. But yeah, the name right there is kind of suspect, but it's his program, so of course he name it whoever he wants to. But there you go.
Right.
The name is beyond suspect. Let's just lay it out there. The name is beyond suspect.
Well, God bless his ministries. I mean, he won't call it Shay Shay or whatever. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. I've heard worse.
Ministries.
God bless his ministries.
I think we've all heard worse. Good Lord, have we heard worse?
The merging of the LIV and the PGA. So,
Please,
PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan has been backwalking this. Ooh. He's not even Michael Jackson moonwalking. He's created his own dance.
No.
Yes.
He's created his own pivot in all of this. So you can't go from it's blood money.
Right.
People who families have suffered from 9/11, the Saudi Arabians or everything else, and now all of a sudden
we taking
again movie references. It reminds me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We taking all this. That's what they're saying.
There's no such thing as common sense because it's not common anymore, and there's no such thing as morals. All those two have went out the window completely because once again, you know me and movie references. The scene from Trading Places. Eddie Murphy's in there with the Dukes. He's in the limousine, and one of the Dukes is like, "We could pull over, we could walk our lives forever." Has the cigar, has the whiskey, sees the telephone and the whole setup. No, I can hang out with you guys for a little more long. I mean, and that's what the PGA has become. Eddie Murphy from Trading Places.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it because they were talking this big bunny cash trash.
Yep.
Oh no, LIV, they're evil. They're the devil. No, no way. No, I mean, they're bucking tradition. How dare they buck with tradition? And then they're in bed with the Saudis. And 1 year later,
not even that.
They're like that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't think it's
even hypocritical.
I don't think it's even been a year.
How hypocritical.
So
this basically tells me, and I said this on Cold Sports a couple of days ago. So basically, this says to me, money talks, and you know what walks.
And BS walks.
And it BS runs a marathon at this point.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter.
You can't you can't have this moralistic stance, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, if you're able to offer almost $1 billion to Tiger Woods, man, how much more can this league profit from LIV with the blood money?
Which basically sold it anyway.
Yeah, I'm like you all. Nah, man.
When you begin, Ryan said it in the chat. When you begin your statement, when you begin a press conference with, some of y'all might call me a hypocrite.
If the shoe fits,
you gonna wear it.
It's a damn good fit.
In this case, yeah, very damn good.
Worth it. I hope it was worth it.
That's all I have to say about that. I hope this merger is worth it.
I hope it was worth those 30 pieces of silver you just sold.
Because you got a lot of people who are going to look at you, PGA Tour, and they're going to say,
"What happened?
Your word isn't as good as you think it is."
If they're not saying it now. If they didn't say it the day the deal went down.
It used to be a time when your word meant something. I guess depending on your family and your circle of friends, it still does mean something. But apparently it does not. And again, it's not even selling your soul. That's if you had a soul to begin with.
Yes.
That's if you had a soul to sell. Exactly.
Right. So if you're empty inside, you're just a hollow husk, walking around here just taking money like you do, then you have no problem. Look, you see all this money, and you're a guy or a gal, whoever, and sees this and say, look, I could do all that money. I can give me some more cars. I can support my my wife. I can support my 2.5 kids. I can support my 1.5 dog. And then I could also supply, I can also help out my side piece down the street. I got all the money in the world. Living in a gay community, I had to be around those people. So, man, I got it more than made in the shade. I mean, this is great. Endless money for the rest of our entire lives and generational wealth.
Yep.
But this is nothing new because this country was built on the blood of people in the first place.
Yes.
Right. Say it. Yes, sir.
Black, brown, Hispanic, Asian, everybody paid the price.
I mean,
for certain people to live comfortably.
It's like what George Carlin said in 1988 when he said two things. One, it's based on the old double. This country was based on the old double standards. Say one thing, do something different. And then to couple it in 96, he said this country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago.
He was
when he was talking about the elections. How true are those two statements right now in reference to PGA and Live Golf merging?
One of my favorite groups of all time is Genesis. And Genesis had a song back in the day called Jesus Loves Me.
That's right.
And it was Phil Collins' take on Televangelist. And there's a lyric in there where he says, do as I say, don't do as I do.
Oh, yeah.
And so all this reference I'm referring to goes to this. So if you can live with yourself, you can sleep at night, and you have no problem doing that, hey, just stay away from me because I don't want to get hit by lightning. I don't like lightning.
Nor do I.
Because you're going to pay in some way, shape. Look, you can't walk the earth doing all this dirt and not have it come back to bite you in the ass tenfold. I'm sorry. Karma is real.
It is real. It's very real. Also, George Carlin said this, and I believe, Victor, if I'm right, this was 2005. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
And I think that's what we're seeing. I think that's what the PGA Tour is saying. It's like, yeah, we talked about this traditional stuff. We talked about American values. We talked about not being in bed with terrorists. But you ain't us. We're elitists. What can you say? So it's almost like Jay-Z when in the beginning of Kingdom Come album. What you want me to say? I'm sorry. That's what I hear Jay Monahan say.
I'm hearing that too. I'm hearing that too.
And absolutely.
It's funny to me. Yeah, I'm having a ball seeing this, and I love how you characterized it, Base. The PGA Tour moonwalking isn't fast enough,
right?
No,
I mean, I said this to another friend of mine. I said this is one of the most major examples of backwalking that you'll ever witness. I'm still shocked that this was supposed to be like an AFL, NFL war where it's like I weighs better, no, I weighs better. And it took 1 year for the PGA to crumble and cave in.
To crumble, to cave in, to surrender. And I believe it's the OJs that sang it best with one word, money. Pink Floyd, same thing.
And that's exactly what it is, for the love of money.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Monahan is that dude. If you hung out with him, and back in the day, depending on who you hung out with, and you're on the corners at night, you're with your boys, you're passing around, a bottle of whatever. He's the dude that didn't pay. He's the dude that took the most drink out of the bottle, backwash, and then will give it back to you. I'm like, I don't want that, man. It's yours now. You done got your slobber knock all over it.
You got everything all over it. I don't want that.
He's that dude.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't want it now. That was a good White Irish Rose.
Yeah, was being the operative word.
Was, right. Let's pour it from the brothers who ain't here. Well, brother, it's yours now. Hey, we can't even share it. Rat bastard. The damnedest of shame, I'm telling you.
It is.
I was hoping it wasn't just me that was saying that, because I was like, oh my gosh.
Ray Charles, in the state he's in right now, can see that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what is it? Rock said this one time. A blindfold second to baseman, blindfold second to baseman Stevie Wonder could see this.
Yep.
But I'm like, you all are such massive hypocrites.
Steve Eddie Griffin said it. Stevie Wonder can see these guys are guilty. And that's an understatement.
They don't care. And it doesn't matter. The fat cats get fatter. And so they don't have to answer to us.
The rich get richer.
We're nobody.
I'll turn into Chris Bass for a second and use a movie reference from New Jack City. The rich get richer and the poor don't get a doggone thing.
And the middle class gets squeezed.
Yep.
Never fails. Never fails.
And it continues to get squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
Every doggone day, it continues to get squeezed.
Because that's how the powers that's how the powers that be designed it.
So we want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we want it. Yes, sir.
It's like when people play the lottery, and you want to play the lottery, that's your business.
Right.
But when you have people to go from, say, poverty to getting a penthouse in the sky, that's a lofty goal to get to.
Yep.
The realistic goal, if you're fortunate to get a job, is go from poverty just to get to middle class.
Yes.
And try to make ends meet. Right. And so that's the more the realistic goal, and it's designed. Because if everybody was rich, there would be no. That's too many rich folk. It's like, no. We have a certain class, a certain club, that the rich get richer, and y'all get poor and die off, and decrease the surplus population.
A term that my dad used to tell me a lot. Something he used to say to me: "Watch your tax bracket." Dad would say that to me all the time in the midst of encouraging me to chase my dreams. He said, "Watch the tax bracket and watch the pockets of the folks who have them." The second one came from my grandpa. Now, it took me, I'd say, about 20 years to really understand it. But when I turned 30 and I was in Minnesota working at Camp Snoopy, it was Camp Snoopy at the time, in the Mall of America, that's when I started getting it. As crazy as that sounds, that's when I started getting it. That's when I started hearing my dad's words and my grandpa's words. Because I would see people come in to the mall, into Camp Snoopy, without a care in the world. I mean, here I am struggling as a ride operator. I'm homeless, trying to find a place to lay my head in Minnesota, and Minnesota will squeeze you out in a heartbeat.
Of course.
They will squeeze you out. I discovered about Minnesota. Y'all thought I complained about Indiana? You should hear my complaints about the state of Minnesota. Because I had so many people telling me, since you're homeless and you're just starting to work, you can get assistance with no problem. Wrong answer. Dead wrong answer. And like Bass said, it's by design, and I'll go one step further.
Mm-hmm.
It's by design for men to fail should they choose that route. By design, it's for men to fail. to give up, to stop pursuing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Find the lie.
To not dream.
To not dream. Say that again. Please say that again.
Yeah, to not dream, to not have the audacity to dream. Yeah. And because of it, I think this is why, to me, this PGA Tour LIV merger hits home.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's another clear-cut example of if you have, you want to have more.
Yep.
But if you don't have, you're not even considered.
Man.
It is another clear-cut example of that.
And the examples keep appearing every day.
Mm-hmm.
The examples keep appearing every day. More of them.
Mm-hmm.
More of them. Hell, to be perfectly honest, because of the situation of have and have nots, I lost my child. I lost my family. The worst thing you can do to a man is take something away that he loves. I lost my child to a family that would not give me an opportunity or a chance. And as I hold my hand up here, y'all can figure out the rest of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm. That's the reason why. Yeah.
I mean, let me borrow from base. God damn you, I lost my child.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You put up a Vic.
No. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was saying on a side note. Again, watching the NBA Finals and the NBA in general. There's this soda, as we say here in the Midwest, pop, Starry, that's out now. So I'm watching this knucklehead spot, and it replaced Sierra Mist. When I did my little research. PepsiCo, which owns it, wanted to align itself with Gen Z consumers. So that's the reason why they started to do that. And so, I get tired of, for example, things that are geared towards us as people of color, African Americans, or Black, if you want to call us. I mean, for example, going back to Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist became the official drink of Black folk. I don't know when it happened.
I don't either.
But all of a sudden over the years, it started to say just Black folk on
drinking
these
Sierra
spots.
Mist.
Right. I'm like, when did that happen? And then what really broke my heart was one year, I guess around the holiday season. It was around the holiday season, and he did like a claymation LeBron James spot with Sierra Mist. I think it was Sprite, whatever it was. And I'm like, that. Give me. I mean, look, I saw that, and that broke my soul because Christmas and the holiday season is my favorite time of year, and I gotta see this guy. Not even in claymation form, gave me the willies, advertising this soda pop. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man! Come.
Look, I want to say it was mid '80s where Black folks started drinking Sierra Mist in droves. And to be perfectly honest, I only had Sierra Mist twice. And both times I hated it. Because if y'all remember the old pop machines, some are still around, Sprite started being switched with Sierra Mist.
Right.
Around the mid 80s, 86 and beyond, you saw Sprite leaving the machines. You saw Sprite not being offered to Black people en masse. Mid 80s. That was the first turn that was one of the first turns I experienced in getting to adulthood.
Now, my grandparents back in the day, when we had like glass bottles, a pop in the 6-pack, they used to always have RC.
Yes,
they had RC cola,
RC.
and then they also had 7-Up.
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. So I used that, and then my mom loved Pepsi, so she had Pepsi. But man, I mean, that was what I grew up on. Those particular pops. So eventually, things change. You get to all different types of pop that's out there. But yeah, you just notice this PR shift that's geared towards us.
Yes.
And I get tired of it. I go one step further. If you watch the medical ads on TV, say it's for HIV positive, stuff like that, the first person they show is a black person.
Yes.
That's right.
All the time.
I'm
all
like,
the time.
wait, I'm sure, no offense, I'm sure other people of different races unfortunately have certain ailments, but right out the gate,
they show a black person.
They show a black person. I'm like, and I guess that's supposed to be the target audience, whatever. Still, it just gets on my nerve.
Jody pointed that out to the bad part is Jody pointed that out to me. And she said the same thing that Bass said. Have you ever noticed with all these ailments and these new drugs that are coming out that A, they're geared towards black people, and B, they're trying to kill you off. This is from Jody.
I think I saw a recent STI prevention commercial.
Prevention being the operative word.
And most of the couples were black.
Yep. There's another shift that's going on, and we'll end with this in some commercials. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. Have you noticed with some commercials that the couples are now mixed?
Oh yeah.
Intentionally, yes.
Yeah,
very much blended families, as they call it. Blended
families. I am part of one. I understand them, trying to reach that demographic, but have you seen them purposely fill commercials with blended families?
Oh, of course.
And the shift, all I would say is the shift is on. The shift is on.
Oh, it's been going on for a while now, and you've seen that in all these spots. I say for me, the first time I started to take notice of the Disney World spots.
Yes,
all these different families, gays, lesbians, straight, whatever, and you see different families that were blended and different. So that was my first acknowledgement of seeing it on TV, and then going from there. And for the record, I have not even heard or used the word blended since I was younger back in the day, gallivanting out in the streets, having sex with women.
Dig it.
Blended. Yeah, I was blending this honey. Because I got that from one of Spike Lee movies, Mo Better Blues.
Mo Better Blues.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Mo Better Blues.
I was blending this out. Blended. I got to use that. Blended. Okay, I got to use that one.
That brings back memories.
We'll close with this.
Right?
Anybody remember the movie Jungle Fever? And how much taboo that was.
Yeah,
I mean, and to this day, this is coming from a gentleman who's going through it right now. It's still taboo. It's like if you had a list of things that are so taboo in the black community, give you a guess as to what the number one thing is.
No, interracial.
Yeah, don't date outside
Marriage
your
or
race.
dating.
Bingo.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, don't do that.
Bingo.
It'll always be that way.
Never did outside your race. Yeah. Never did
next week,
race. Yeah.
Next week, I'll share some stories of what Jody and I went through in North Carolina. And we got to go. But Bass, always a pleasure, my man. We love you.
This is wonderful.
We're glad that you're okay. And this is your time slot since we made the change to accommodate our West Coast audience. But we love you, brother. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
And God bless you, my man.
God bless you too as well. Everybody in the comment section, God bless you all as well. I feel like a minister now. I'm not putting out collection plates. Don't worry about that. I'm not trying to take your money. But thank you all and have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you, Bass. We love you.
You too, sir.
Love you more.
And now, the transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the Bronze GAWD, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
A salute to everyone in the chat and everyone who joined us on this fantastic Friday. We love you. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember,
if your dreams don't scare you, that it's just simply a not bit. You just taking this.
All right, coming up on Snowman Multimedia, you got the Sports Sensates with Drew in less than 120 seconds. Then you got the Brian Snow Show at 2, where I will expand more.
What's up, Drew?
On why? Go ahead.
I said, what's up, Drew?
What's up, Drew? I will expand more and relate some stories on why interracial dating / marriages are still taboo in the Black community. Y'all don't want to miss that. Y'all don't want to miss that. And I'm telling you, Cole, you don't want to miss that because I'm going to go in on that big time. I haven't had a chance to, but I will today. Okay. And those 60 minutes, and I think Victor will join me, those 60 minutes are going to be huge. All right, let me get out of here. We love you, and we'll see y'all on Monday. We're out of here.